Blog Talk Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Joycelyn Linton. I'm coming into the higher calling. Welcome to the show here. And it's been quite a while that I've been on Blog Talk Radio. Reason being is that the Lord has a few tasks for me to do, and I wasn't getting on with them all. So I wanted to just spend a period of trying to come into the full obedience of the Lord. And can I tell you, I'm a delayed messenger, but I'm praying that the Lord will cause me to catch up. And being a delayed messenger, that means that something else, some other situation was coming up against me to cause me to be delayed. And the time, the date now, it's 09/07/2016, and it's 04:55 a.m. British Standard Time. So it's nearly 5 a.m. in the morning time. And I actually invited the people on the Facebook about 2 hours ago. I had a little nap and I woke up at 2:30, and it's only now that I'm coming on. And I find this so frustrating that when I invite my guest on the Facebook, I have the good intention of starting within the half an hour, but it always comes out 2 hours later. I do go into some prayers and meditation, and I have a preparation about myself before I do come onto the podcasting. And just writing that little summary, I find that takes its time from me. And another thing, when I do these talks, I never know what I'm going to say until I begin to speak. I do organize, what I want to say, but then as soon as I speak, it takes a different direction. It takes a different course. So I just come on and I just say, okay, Lord, please speak through me. And today I want to look at the two witnesses. The two witnesses, according to Zechariah, according to the prophet Zechariah in chapter 4, okay, and according to Zechariah in chapter 4, and what it's saying at the end here, chapter 4 and 14, and Revelation 11, verse 3 to 4. So I want to talk on that. But I'm just going to play a little tune here for anyone else who may want to tune in to what I'm saying here. Okay, so I'm just listening to Alison Cross, taken from the YouTube. All these tunes that I play are all from the YouTube, random songs. Okay. Be thou my vision. And I really ask that you listen to the words in this season here.
Be thou my dignity, thou
still be my vision, O ruler of all, High King of heaven, be thou my vision. And that's a really important word for the season that we're entering into. Because of recently, I've noticed in the biblical interpretations that I've been given over the podcasting, is that the Lord is bringing forth a very strong acknowledgement to us. And He's telling us that we should start to take a shift into His mind. The Lord wants us, I wouldn't say now, the Lord wants us to leave the carnal mind, the temporal mind, and shift into His mind. Because we have been under another, we have been under another type of management. And in this type of management is that earthly, sinful mind. And it's ruled by what the sociologists, the psychologists may say, Freud and Sigmund may say, the ego mind and the pride mind. And also, the Lord has, when we read through the prophet of Jeremiah, the Lord has also subjugated His people to the Chaldeans. And the daughter of Chaldean, if we read Isaiah 49, she has caused people's minds to be in vanity and vainness. And this that the Lord complains through the prophet Jeremiah, that my people are vain and in vanity. And that's in around about chapter 2, 3 and 4. So we are not in our true minds. Can I tell you this, folks? We are not in the true inheritance of our minds. And our minds makes up the brain. That organ that's in the top of our head, encapsulated by the skull. And our skull is quite dense. It's quite a hardened bone. And it's supposed to protect our brain. Okay, the actual organ. But then within the brain now, we have the capacity to have thoughts. You see, we have the capacity to have thoughts. And in the thoughts, we manifest the experiences that we are going through in our daily lives and throughout our lifetime. You see, and I'm afraid the bone cannot protect our thoughts. We need another to protect our thoughts. You see, and let me put it this way: our thoughts is really in a stirrup of spirituality. Our thoughts are really in a stirrup of spirituality. And what do I mean by stirrup? Well, when we ride, for instance, a horse, here in like in the UK and in America, not necessarily in places like India, but the horse has stirrups. It has like a belt around its face, the full frontal part of its face, and they tend to pull. Then it has some long strands, and they tend to pull the stirrups or pull the strand on the face of the horse, directing the horse where to go. Yeah. So the horse is under bridle, is under control of the person that's riding it. Okay, and therefore the eyes is also, the eye of the horse can only look forward. Okay, so it controls the horse, because not only is it pulling to tell the horse which way to go, but because it's over the face of the horse and the head of the horse, now that's a controlling mechanism for the horse. Because if you notice, the bridle is not over the rest of the horse, it's really over the head and the face. And that's a spiritual message to the horse that it's being controlled. It's being controlled. And so the brain is like that. The brain is like under control. But the brain, the part that we've been under, is under the control of another that has kept us in vanity, in vainness. And we operate through the ego mind and the pride. And what do I mean by the ego now? Well, those who want to look up Freud and Sigmund on the Google, I won't go into the depths of what they've said there, but I can give a little idea. And the ego is, can I put it this way in my own terms, is the ego mind is where we have set values that has been taught into us from our upbringing. And we evaluate ourselves. We revolve our lives and our decision making alongside this value that has been put in us. So, for instance, as a child, you'll hear parents say, will probably say to a child, you're a good boy because you did such and such. Okay, so let me be more direct. For instance, now, what do we call achievement or an accomplishment? Okay, so for instance, somebody, a young person, passing their school like that. Oh yeah, this is the biggest value in school. You may have a class of students sitting examinations, and there are those who have worked well and passed the examination, and then there are those who maybe they worked well, maybe they didn't pay attention, maybe they found the whole thing a struggle and didn't pass the examination. So now in the classroom you get a division between those who's done extremely well and they seem to continue to do well, and then for the preceding examinations to come. And then there are those who didn't do well, and they make a joke out of it. They mock the situation and they act as though they didn't care, but actually they feel undervalued. So now you find throughout the rest of their lives that becomes a mainstay, or like a platform that they perform from, because they believe now that they're not so academically skilled or smart, or they don't have that type of brain. So they will settle in life with being underachievers, so to speak. They didn't achieve passing the school examination. This is just a really vague thought. So now there's a value system. That person will value himself according to whether he accomplished certain status in the society. Okay, so forget about all the talents and the gifting that the Lord has supplanted in him. He's gauging himself according to an expectation that has been put upon him through the days of schooling on whether